In December 2020, the VM Group established a new fintech subsidiary, VM Innovations, with a mandate to grow and diversify our revenue streams through new business models. Since then, the VM Innovations team have been eagle-eyed in identifying game-changing solutions that will disrupt this industry. Today, I'm joined by the CEO of VM Innovations, Maurice Barnes, who will share with us his strategic vision for this company. Hello, I'm Courtney Campbell, and this is Chatting with Courtney. With decades of experience in information technology, especially in the areas of project management, systems analysis, and software development in both the public and private sectors, Maurice Barnes has brought tremendous insights to VM Group's leadership team. He's a strong advocate for innovation, for open source technology, for financial technology, and for the digital society. And he's here with us today to share about the developments in our newest subsidiary in the VM Group, VM Innovations. Welcome, Maurice.
Thank you, Courtney. Happy to be here.
Great to have you with us. Maurice, we launched VM Innovations in December 2020 in the midst of the pandemic. Please share with us how significant that move was, given the landscape in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean, especially at this time.
Certainly. As a matter of fact, to answer that question, I'd probably want to take you back to 2018 when the VM Group launched the digital transformation strategy. As part of that strategy, one of the pillars of the 7 pillars was the new business models. So, and new business models for me means not new business models necessarily for the current business, but it's always looking to the future. What is it going to be happening in the future? So VM was really very, what I would call insightful in making such a decision that come 2020, in a pandemic, in a time where the normal way of doing work got totally disrupted. As we see nowadays, a lot of industries are being disrupted, primarily because of the advancements in technology that we're seeing today. When COVID, during the pandemic, what that did was make us realize how far behind we were, certainly as a country, in terms of prepared for the digital future. And as such, we'd have to pivot. So those organizations which would have had plans in place, working towards that sort of change that we recognize was more or less impending, those are the companies which would have been able to sort of survive and get over this. And VM Group actually is one of that. So with the creation of VM Innovations, it was almost as if, you're looking through a crystal ball to say something is going to happen, which is going to change the way that we work and accelerate that digital adoption. And that is what has brought VM Innovations here.
Great. Now, I believe you have had a great start. You started with us in December of 2020, as I just said. And I think your full team, a small team, but your team was assembled by the end of June into July of 2021. And in a short period of time, you have developed some really strong products that we expect a lot from. Could you tell us a bit about some of those products?
Sure. And you're correct. We really ramped up pretty quickly. What you got, hit the ground running. Right. So from we started, the team was onboarding, as you said, about June, July. We looked at some of the existing ideas that would have come from within the group. And we also went about the ideation as to some of the other challenges that we would have seen in general society, within the financial space as well as within, property management, etc. So one of the first projects we tackled, we looked at the challenges that persons were having in stratas, particularly in Jamaica, in terms of managing stratas, challenges with managing the finances, security, etc. And we said, this is a good fit for the VM Group. I mean, we're in the businesses of providing mortgages and home ownership in general. Right. But after you've got your home and you're moving, there's another part to it in terms of your maintenance of your home to ensure that you protect the value in your home. And part of that is property management. So therefore, we said, let us come up with a solution, find a solution to some of these problems that, some homeowners are faced with. And so from that, we came up with a property and community management system, which we did a business case. We got the support from the group, and so we went on to the development. Development took us roughly around 6 months to have that completed, and we launched the product. Some of the other innovations we're looking at the reimagining the home ownership experience in a more digital way, and that's where we looked at the new mortgage ecosystem. Looked and sort of did some research in terms of what are some of the pain points that our customers and members would experience in that home ownership process. And with the use of technology, we've came up with a platform which will now facilitate a much greater and more seamless user experience, while at the same time providing education, financial education along the way, and also trying to reduce the time for which you can actually move into your home. So that's the mortgage ecosystem. And then, of course, with the push by the Bank of Jamaica for central bank digital currency, Jamaica being one of the only countries, certainly in the Caribbean, that has legislation to support the use of a central bank digital currency. We're also piloting a project as well to put out a digital wallet, which will also support the transacting business using digital currency.
Excellent. So I'm sure the public will hear about that soon.
And they will certainly hear about that very, very soon.
Great. So you have spoken about the turnkey, the mortgage ecosystem. You have spoken about the CBDC, and of course, the first point you made was the property management solution called PROPMAN. Let's speak a little more about that. Let's share some of the benefits to homeowners for using that particular solution, because those who have been exposed to it so far have given it rave reviews, and we would like to use the opportunity to share with others who may not have heard about it.
Right. So PROPMAN, as we said, is a property and community management system. So it's not just about managing the property, it also attempts to bring together communities in which the application is deployed. Mm-hmm. So we design it as what we call a software as a service solution, right? Which would mean that each property doesn't need their own infrastructure to run this. Sure. You just need a mobile phone or a computer and to have access. One of the main features was accounting and record keeping. So the system allows you to keep proper records for whether it's a strata or just a community association, etc. So it has those features to manage your expenses and also the income that's coming from maintenance fees, etc., etc. And it also keeps, it promotes transparency within the community or within the strata. We have a feature that looks at security in terms of access. So access to your particular gated community through the use of PROPMAN. PROPMAN will allow you to log your visitors. So you as a homeowner, you can go on and log your visitors digitally. And that will now allow the security personnel to be able to now verify your visitors when they access. I mean, imagine.
That's very important.
Very important.
Given the security issues in Jamaica.
That's correct.
Great.
So each time your particular visitor enters, they can swipe a QR code, which is generated on login. The security can scan that, and it will automatically send a notification to your phone to say your visitor has arrived.
Excellent.
So it's total transparency. And it allows you now to better manage and track who is coming in and out of the community. And of course, this is very personal and private between the person who is logging the visitor as well as the security personnel.
So this solution, Maurice, is good for people who live in apartment buildings, townhouse complexes, gated communities. At what size does this make sense? In other words, how many units at a minimum?
PROPMAN will manage from 2 units to 3,000 units and more.
Great.
Right, you know, so the platform is very scalable, and it will run with any sort of configuration of any property or any area or gated community or neighborhood, if you want to extend it to that.
In fact, your first gated community, Phoenix Park Village, has over 1,600 units.
That's correct.
Great.
Yes, we've deployed it. Actually, it's about 1,700 now that we have deployed it to. And, you know, more and more persons have shown interest, and we're now in discussions to onboard quite a number of the large complexes.
I was just about to ask that if you could tell us a little more about the response to date.
The response to date has been very, very good, very encouraging. You know, we have engaged quite a number of communities and complexes, both from, you know, 10 units right up to 1,200 units. That we're looking at. So, and some of these now, we're actually in the process of now preparing them for a trial period. We believe that for our particular solution that, you know, we'll give you an opportunity to try the solution. You can try it for, you know, 2 weeks or a month, and then we do the onboarding for you. Because that we truly believe that it's a very good product. And so, you know, the feedback we have gotten, especially from Phoenix Park, is that they have been using it.
Great.
You know, they've now been asking for additional features,
Great.
which we are now rolling out.
What's your favorite feature of the current application?
Well, I think the security part of this application is what their favorite feature is right now, because it really gives them the ability to now manage the persons that are coming in and out of the community. I might also add, as part of the product, you know, we have a mobile app, both on the Android and the iOS platforms, which will be coming to market. So that will be deployed in a few weeks, and that will also add to the experience of the platform.
Great. Now, we recently announced the proposed restructuring of the VM Group, the reorganization. The members voted to support it in August. And under the reorganization, VM Innovations will be the new immediate parent company for VM Property Services. How significant is that alignment for the future of both VM Innovations and VM Property Services?
On the VM Property Management, Property Services side, VM Innovations, we recognize that there's a big opportunity to come up with some solutions which we dub PROPTech. Now, so we have the fintech and we also have the PROPTech. And this gives us a tremendous opportunity now to take some very, very innovative solutions to market. It will also mean for us that we can now start looking at some other value-added non-financial services that we can provide as well. As I mentioned before, you know, the financial services side of things in terms of innovations, but this will now allow us greater flexibility now to explore additional opportunities in the non-financial sector.
Well, Maurice, you know how excited I am by this, right?
Yes.
And by the opportunities that the reorganization will provide for VM Innovations. We have put some big challenges to VM Innovations. I know I certainly have. What's next for VM Innovations? What's in your future?
So in terms of our future, one of the things we're looking at, and in innovations, when we look at innovations and our innovation life cycle, the things we're looking at is what we call weak signals, right? A weak signal is some form of new technology or new innovation which seems to be at its infancy, but which could have a very big impact in a number of years. So we look at weak signals. We also look at what we call latent needs, which are needs that persons have, but they don't really recognize that this is a need that they have. So you'll see a product come to market sometimes and you're like, all of a sudden you say, boy, I've always wanted this, but I just didn't know until you see it. So some of the things that we're looking at is for example, this concept of digital banking, neo-banking, you know, something that a lot of fintech certainly have been looking at. And we want to even take it a little bit beyond. I won't say too much on that, but the way the financial services are being delivered today, that may very much change in the future. And those are some of the things that we're looking at right now in terms of how financial services are delivered. How are they delivered digitally? We want to be looking at platforms. We want to be looking at ecosystems. This is what we believe is the future. So the traditional way, where, each bank or each financial institution, what we're seeing happening today is that everybody is basically having the same products and services, right? The consumer is now going to be looking to say, okay, fine, you all offer the same thing. Why can't I just go one place? And then it's up to you now to decide who offers the best solutions, who offers the best services. We don't necessarily have to be shopping around, moving from one institution to another institution. And this is where that sort of synergy and integration between financial institutions is going to be the future. And that is what we're looking at right now, and see how it is that a VM would play in a space like that.
Absolutely. So I think what's happening there is that VM Innovations is helping VM to prepare. For open banking, and possibly even open finance as the world heads in that direction. Thank you very much, Maurice. This has been great, and your leadership, I have a lot of confidence in you and your team.
Yes.
And you are, as a team, really preparing to help VM to serve our members and clients with excellence as we go into the future, and to offer to them products that at this point they don't even know that they need. Right?
You're correct.
So thanks very much. This has been great. This has been an insightful conversation. And, VM Innovations has a big role to play for the VM of the future as we transform the everyday of our members and clients. Members and clients, thanks for joining us. If you'd like to have some more information on the PROPMAN product, please visit propmanweb.com. You'll be able to get all the information that you need on the features and benefits, and you'll be able to sign up for PROPMAN on that link. This has been another episode of Chatting with Courtney. I am Courtney Campbell. Thanks for joining us. Continue to allow us the opportunity to transform your everyday.